Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Let me get us up and running in all of the spots. So give me just a second as I get that all going. All right, make sure are we going live there? Hold on, it's thinking. Looks like Facebook's having a little bit of an issue. Oh, there we go. All right, perfect. So now let me pull this up on my phone and make sure it's actually on. All right, there we go. Hold on. I know I say hold on a lot. I apologize. All right. So got that set up now. All right. So like I said, I hope you are enjoying your morning so far. Good morning. Good morning. It's great to be here with you guys. And I have a really cool affirmation and journal prompt for today. And then I've got a few little announcements I want to make. And to start with, thank you for being here, whether you're here live or you're here for the replay. Make sure that if you're here for the replay, you put hashtag replay and let me know that you were here and kind of join in the conversation, because I will go back and look to see if there's questions or comments or anything that I can respond to. And then if you're here live, make sure that you don't have to make sure, but if you're here live or as you're here live, make sure that you say hello and let me know that you're here. Sometimes I can see that there are people watching, but I don't really know who you are. And so you're more than welcome to join in the conversation. And if you're coming live from any of the other places, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super excited to have you here. And let's go ahead and jump into today's affirmation. Give me just a second while I do that. It is so early. All right, let me make sure I got this down here. Perfect. All right. So today's affirmation is, I choose to see the world through the eyes of possibility, kindness, and growth. My perspective creates the path that I walk. And we talk about this a lot on here, about how our lens of the world helps us to create, or not helps, it does create the world that we live in. And not to say that there aren't things that are outside of our sphere that maybe are not so good, right? The thing is, we don't control all of that. What we control is how, not only what happens to us in our world, but our perspective of what happens in the world. Like, some people can have the exact same thing happen, and one will look at it as an opportunity of growth and a way to learn and do something different. And someone else will be a victim and completely derailed from it. So the exact same instances, but a totally different filter of the world and a totally different outcome, right? So if you think about it, would you prefer to be a victim or a victor? And so that is something that we control. I'm just looking, my lipstick looks really weird in this light. I'm not sure what that's about, but I digress. Let me check and see what's going on in these other places. So, what is your view of the world? And, as sometimes it's like, I like to say that it's almost as if the things in our past have taken, like, if I take my glasses off and I coat it with Vaseline, I can put them on and I might still be able to see things. However, the things are not going to be clear. They're going to be very clouded, altered, how they're not going to be the real vision, right? And the things that have happened to us in our past have created our lens of the world. So sometimes it's got a lot of Vaseline on there and nothing is accurate. Or sometimes it's got just a little bit so that you're just a little bit off. And the thing is that by changing how we view the world, we can cleanse the lenses of our world. And so it's almost like you almost want to have on rose-colored glasses, but that doesn't mean you've got your head stuck in the sand, but it means that you are being aware of your interpretation of things. And even if we go back to some of our memories from when we were really young, we had an interpretation of something from that lens of if it were we were 5 years old. Just think about a 5-year-old interprets things that people do and say completely different than an adult does. And most of the time we're running from that 5-year-old is running the show. And so this gives us the opportunity to look at it and say, right, I choose to see the world through the eyes of possibility, kindness, and growth. And remember, whatever you look for, you find. So if you're looking for a way that supports the thought that somebody's out to get you, you're going to find evidence of it everywhere, because your amazing brain, your subconscious, is going to be searching and searching and searching to find all of that evidence. But if you're looking at the world as it's a beautiful place filled with opportunities, possibility, people are kind, and you can just grow in that, the subconscious mind is going to be really looking for evidence of all of that. So where would you rather be walking? In the world of possibility, kindness, and growth, or the other one? So you get to choose. That's what all of this is about. It's making us more aware of how we get to choose. Now, it's not to say that everything's going to be peachy keen and rosy all the time, right? Because we're still growing, we're still learning. And so I like to say that every obstacle that shows up in our world, in our life, is there for a purpose. And so when you can start looking at, what am I supposed to learn from this? How is this going to help me grow? How is this shifting my perspective? How can this eventually be the best story I've ever told? I was sharing the other day, we were doing our Rewrite Your Money Story program. We were having our lesson for the week, right? And one of the things that I shared is, it's not like anybody in this world doesn't have days that something just goes to crap, right? But the thing is that anytime that things are not going well, I have come to this perspective where I say, this is going to be an amazing story of what I went through. This is going to be amazing before story, right? And so when you start looking at it like that, then you start seeing it not as something to hold you down, but as something to inspire you to something new and to inspire others as well. Because when you think about it, the people that inspire us the most, they're not the people that had the best lives and never had anything ever go wrong, right? It's the ones that had something go wrong huge, and they came out on the other side saying, that changed me. I'm so much better now. Right. Yes. Amazing before story. It is definitely a different perspective. I used to fall prey to the victim thing all the time. It was woe's me. But I'm grateful that now I have this different lens of the world. And so I invite you to tap into that same lens, because I'm telling you, it's a much better place to be. Because like I said, the people that inspire us the most are not the ones that had the easiest life. They're the ones that went through something, some greater than others, and came out thinking, oh, yes, that's the day that everything changed, right? So now you can start looking at your own life. Every time something comes up, say, oof, let me write this down because I'm going to want to remember to share this before story, right? All right, so now I'm going to go into the journal prompt. Let's see, and I'm going to take this. Let me start over. I apologize. I'm one of the people that talk myself through things, and I don't know if you're the same way. One of my friends, she is for sure, and we're constantly, if we're doing something, we're both talking about it to ourselves, right? All right, so let's see if that's all right. And then post this. Okay. All right. So I'm splitting this in two, and I'll share the first part and I'll just tell you the second part because it's kind of long. But when I share it in the comments or in the description, it'll all be there. All right. So today's journal prompt is, how has your mindset shaped your experiences lately? So just kind of sit with some. Okay. Yep. So make sure you're writing it all down so that you can tell that story. So how has your mindset shaped your experiences lately? And, and I say this often, and there's probably a better way to share it. But anyway, if you've got two people sitting in a car and they're going down the road, they're in the back seat, they're both looking on the right side of the road. And one has a filter, a lens of the world that is, everything is great, right? They're filled with possibility, kindness, and growth, and they're just open to the world. And the other person feels like the world is out to get them and they are a victim. They're both watching the same thing go by in the car. The one that is the victim is going to notice every dilapidated house, that dead animal on the street, the trees that are not blooming, the leaves that are dying. They're going to notice everything that fits that skew of the world, right? But the person that is filled with possibility and kindness and open to growth and the possibilities of the world, they're going to see the flowers that are blooming. They're going to see the children's toys that give them a smile. They're going to see the birds and the squirrels, and they're going to see all the things that support their lens of the world. And so we are all the time looking at the world through our lens, right? So how has your lens of the world shaped your experiences lately? Any thoughts on that? And the funny thing is, or not funny, but interesting thing is, a lot of time we don't even realize that it's our filter of the world that is shaping things. We think they just happen. So and so did this, so and so did that. I didn't have anything to do with that, right? But it's still our lens of the world. So once you've answered this question, how has your mindset shaped your experiences lately? And you might have to really dig deep and look, because sometimes those are things that are not obvious. We're so used to seeing things from our perspective that we don't realize there is another possibility. Remember, there are 50 billion bits of information coming at us per second from all the energy. Everything's energy, everything's a frequency, right? It's all coming at us, right? And we would go bonkers if everything came in. So our amazing brain filters it out to where we get 2,000 bits of information per second. Huge difference, right? And the way that the 2,000 bits show up is from our lens of the world. Just like I was talking about the people in the car. Both of those stories are true, right? There was the dead animal on the road. There was a dilapidated house. There was things that were dying. They're both true, but one of them saw it and one didn't. It's just like there have been times that, and you may have experienced this too. I've been in a car with someone and they'll say, "Did you see that homeless person?" No. We were both looking at the same place, but that's not what I saw. What I saw was the kids playing and having fun. So it's not that you're putting your head in the sand, it's that you're choosing to focus. So where has that been showing up for you? And then reflect on a recent moment when shifting your perspective, either positively or negatively, right? Change the outcome of how you felt about it, because that's what it all boils down to. And I will share that I worked with someone not too long ago, and one of the things that she was doing was she was remembering things in her past. And, like we all do, right? But when she was remembering these things, she was only remembering, or the thing that was top of her mind was how she was taken advantage of, how she was wronged. That's that when she would tell the story, that was the story. And so I invited her to look at it in a different way. And so we did a little bit of work with hypnosis and some coaching, but she was able to look at the events that she had been through, but instead of it being her what happened as she had been telling it for years, is she turned it around to where she was gifted when this one person took advantage of her, because it actually sent her onto a different journey completely that she loves. So where in your world have you been looking at things and seeing what's wrong with them instead of seeing what came out of it? Like I was saying earlier, right? The people that have the best inspiration for us, they don't stay in the victim place. They don't only see how it was terrible. They may share that, well, this happened and it was terrible, but this is what came out of it. And so we're just wanting to focus on this is what came out of it. And for instance, I had one person I worked with, and she went through this horrible divorce, right? And the whole time she was going through this divorce, she was in despair because it meant she wasn't lovable. She had all these stories about it. And she thought this was the love of her life. And so she just couldn't figure out a way to ever love someone or to find peace within her, right? And what she ended up discovering, that wasn't the love of her life. That was the person that helped her learn what she wanted in life and to learn what she wanted in a relationship, so that the next relationship she had, amazing, right? The other one, she loved him, but man, oh man, was it a job to make this relationship work. And it eventually just kind of went to hell in a handbasket kind of thing. But then the next person that she had a relationship with, it was like so easy. It was like everything just fell together. Everything was glorious. Now, if she had continued in that relationship and continued to work on it, and it was laborious, I'm telling you, because I was trying to help her as she was going through some of this stuff. But man, oh man, when she found her inner goddess and her inner ability to find peace and love inside, then she got in a relationship. And it was like she even said so many times, I am so glad that didn't work, because now I've got this. So what moment in your life have you had something negative that you shifted to positive like she did? Or maybe something's kind of been good, but you figured out a way to make it negative. And we do that with our limiting beliefs too, right? We can see something, well, that didn't work out exactly as I wanted it to. What are you doing in your world right now? Either positively or negatively. Really tap into what's going on, because when you can figure out what's going on, you can change it on purpose. So then the last part of this is, how might choosing a more empowering lens change what you notice and attract in your life? Now, we've already talked about that, right? So what if just today you took off your glasses, your pretend glasses, your virtual glasses, whatever the heck they are. You take them off and you take, like I was cleaning my glasses just a little while ago, and you take something and you clean them off and you get it crystal clear so that there's no baggage hanging out in there. What do you think you would notice then? So if you're on a journey with someone else and your lens of the world is crystal clear, it's pristine, and it's filled with possibilities, kindness, and growth, what are you going to be noticing in your day? What are you going to be focusing on in your day? And how will that change what's attracted into your life? And I promise you, it does. Because what we're doing with our lens of the world is we're shooting out this vibration that says, I want more of that. Yeah. I love the little glasses. I love the glasses. All right. So I'm going to share a few little announcements right now. So, all right. So first off, tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, Christine, one of my friends, fellow coaches, we do a lot of things together. She's doing an amazing workshop, and I'll share the link in the comments. But she's doing this amazing workshop, and it's about YouTube Shorts and some different secrets. Now, she's been very, very helpful to me with some of my YouTube stuff. And I'll be honest, I'm not that great at it right now. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. And but she has been instrumental in helping me to use my YouTube channel in a lot better way. And so if that's something that you're interested in, put YouTube in the comments, and I'll make sure that you get that that information. And then let's see, Friday, that's the 25th. I'm having an amazing event where one of my friends, Nikki Green, is releasing her book. She just was in a multi-author book, and it is called Warrior Women, Turning Our Life Lessons into Legacy. And so I'm going to have her on for her to talk about her book, and we're going to kind of explore what this means, warrior women, turning our life lessons into legacy. So I'm creating an event in the group right now, and I'll be sharing that out. So I would love to have you there. I will see about if I can put something in the comments for that too. But I wanted to make sure that I let you know, because I would love for you to support me being able to help her get her book out more. And one of the things that's really cool is if I can get as many people as possible to show up and help her to launch this book, then the other authors may come in and share as well, because I'd love to hear from each and every one of them. So this is the catalyst that helps make that happen. And I would love to have you here for this book launch. So like I said, It's Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a virtual, but it's going to be live in the group. And so I'm so excited and looking forward to it. I'm not sure if it's going to be live on YouTube or not. I haven't set that part up. So if possible, we might do it that way too, but we shall see. But I would love for you to be there and help support her. And then Friday as well, Friday evening, 5:30 Eastern, I'm doing a workshop that is creating profits from Linktree. And I didn't, and it's interesting because I have a Linktree account and I had a bunch of things in there. And then my friend Christine, who's doing the YouTube short thing, she said, well, how did you do that to your Linktree? So I started sharing some things. And so now she's expanded hers. And so she and I are going to be on there together. We're going to be sharing how you can use Linktree to do so much more than just let people know who you are. It is a fascinating thing and so easy to work with. So if you can join me for that. So look into the events section. I'm going to be creating the events in just a bit. And so if you're interested in coming to the Linktree, put Linktree in the comments and I'll make sure I send a special invite to you. And let's see, what else was there? Well, it's only Wednesday, but I'll just go ahead and share. On this past Monday, I changed my time with you guys. It's supposed to be 3 p.m. Eastern, and I changed it to 10 a.m. because I had a class, right? Well, no, I sent the information. I was looking for my link to get on the call, right? Because it was a class, and I sent the guy who is facilitating this. I said, I'm looking for the link everywhere. What time does it start? I think it's at 2:00. And he said, yes, it's at 2:00. He said, but that's next week. So anyway, I will be changing Monday. Instead of it being 3 p.m. Eastern, it's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern again, so that I can make sure that I attend this class because it's a really, really cool one I'm so excited about. And all of you that are entrepreneurs, you know how that gets. Something tweaks you and it's like, oh, I can't wait to be in that class. And this is one of those. And so I'm looking forward to it. All right. So once again, tonight, Christine is going to be delivering a YouTube Shorts workshop. And if you're a person who uses YouTube and you're not utilizing it, or maybe you need a little bit of help, you definitely need to come. So make sure you put YouTube in the comments and I'll make sure that I get that to you. And then Nikki Green is having her book release. We're going to be doing that on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then at 5:30 Eastern is when I'm doing the profits from Linktree. So you're going to want to be there, and I'm going to be doing more workshops, and Christine and I are going to be doing a lot of things together. And then for those that know, Sue and I have the Mining Your Acres of Diamonds program. We have the Rewrite Your Money Story program. And there's just so much here that I love about my life. And I am so excited to share this journey with you guys. So I will talk to you on Friday. Remember, I'll be back Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our live affirmation and journal prompt. And then there's some gold happening on Friday for sure. So I will see you then. Love you guys.